Well, good morning. How are you guys doing today? Obviously, you can't answer me. Well, you can in the comments section. That's a good way to get interaction on your videos. And I do appreciate the interaction on my videos and the more subscribers. Thank you. Yeah, I've been kind of dead lately. But my hours, well, I'm still starting at 10 o'clock. Um, yeah, this whole freaking starting so late. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It's just, it is what it is. You know, I was reading an article that talked about the amount of energy that goes into making one battery for a Tesla, which is probably comparable to other cars, and the amount of, like, yeah, diesel for the Caterpillar that moves the stuff, the tons of each of the soil, and the amount of cobalt and nickel and all that stuff for one. It's like, that's a lot. And then when you think about, like, well, geez, if everybody needs a battery, the amount of work, it kind of makes it pretty amazing how many cars you see. I mean, you're gonna run out. That's why, like, personally, I think the hydrogen, the ammonia, and the methane kind of fueled electric vehicles are the way to go. Using like waste product to get, I think that's a better way. Because, think about it. I mean, we're gonna run out of materials. I mean, that's just when you think about all the people that, all the people on the road. I mean, you think about the cost. People, I mean, I'm making $19.82 an hour, and I can't afford a Tesla. So many people just won't be able to afford to drive anymore, which is the reason why it is good to invest in infrastructure for bicycles. You got all these dipshits that are so anti-freaking bike freaking infrastructure. Well, you got to think about it. Soon enough, you're going to need to get on your bike. Man, the dang on son, I just parked in the wrong spot. It's because it's freaking behind me. I was going to be able to afford a vehicle. So, you're going to be riding your bike pretty soon. I mean, that's the way it is. It's common sense. I mean, it's expensive. It will definitely be even more expensive to maintain these vehicles. So, obviously, it's going to hurt a lot of people that aren't going to be able to afford these electric cars and maintain them. So, they're going to... And, yeah, Uber's expensive. You can't take an Uber every single day if you have a good commute. That'll cost you a lot more money. You're not going to be able to do it. You can't say that Uber's the answer when it's expensive. So the bicycle is the way to go. Getting healthy, good infrastructure for bicycling. You're off the roads. It's safer. It's the way to go. Ironically, that is the way. The bicycle is the way. Because these cars are expensive. You have to be making really good money to afford these vehicles. No, that's just the truth, obviously. You don't have to be an economist to understand how expensive, and obviously you need to be able to make a lot of money to afford it. So, I mean, that's what you got to think. It's like, well, geez, you got so many people And how many people live in a place where you can charge the vehicles? And then you're going to have a situation where you got a lot of people that don't have the ability to charge the vehicle where they live at a rate of speed. And then you got the cost of charging. And then you're not going to be able to find a daggone charging spot. Everybody's going to be waiting in line for one. You just don't have enough ports, I don't think, to supply the amount at a time if everybody's gone electric. Yeah, that's probably another reason why I like using these gases to power the vehicles. It's a good way to go. It's possible, we just have people that run this country who don't know how to think that critically, I guess. It's not like what I'm saying takes a lot of brains. It really doesn't. And you got to think about supply and demand, and the amount of demand and the limited supply and the cost. Say, yeah, you want to have less of a carbon footprint, but you got to think things through about, they also stated that it takes 7 years in a vehicle to get to zero, and then 10 years is like the life expectancy, which is actually pretty good. 10 years, I didn't expect that. So do we really have vehicles that last 7 years? I don't know, man. Depending on how much you drive. So it doesn't seem like a lot of our vehicles are built to last. I know my Ford Fusion cost me a lot of money. I like the car, but it cost a lot of money. A lot of stuff happened with that vehicle. The Mitsubishi, really nothing breaks down on this thing. It's a really reliable vehicle. I've got 85,000 miles on this already, and it's still good. So yeah, we got people that are running this country who just don't know what they should know, or they're not employing the right people to think about these things. Yeah. It makes sense that you're one of the political people and you're like, yeah, we need to get cleaner. Cool. But then utilize your team to be able to think and give you ideas and be able to think things through before you start making policy, I guess, is the idea. And understand that the consequences of the people and the amount of money that people have before you start making these policies. Yeah, that's just, I don't know. It's crazy. So, yeah. I learned that the Postmaster General had a lot of stock in UPS. He's still has a lot of stock in XPO Logistics Company, which does a lot of contracts with the post office. It's kind of a conflict of interest. I guess he went through the Post Office Ethics Committee. You're not supposed to work for any competitor. That's why I can't do Amazon Flex, because it's a competitor in the market. And so Uber Eats isn't. But I guess the post office used to do Amazon Fresh. That's crazy, thinking about Amazon Fresh and post office. Why would the post office be delivering food early in the morning? I guess they'd come in at 2 in the morning. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. 61% on time rate. I don't know. Isn't that are those stats from across the whole country? I don't know about that. I don't want to believe those numbers. But they showed that the dramatic decrease from 92% to 61% happened right after DeJoy became Postmaster General. And he did decommission some of the machines, and starting at 10 o'clock versus starting at 8:30. They're more worried about other things. It's 10 o'clock starting. Yeah, I mean, as a post office worker, you pay your bills on the overtime. If you don't have overtime, you're not really paying your bills. That's just the truth. So then they cut the overtime. Yeah, it hurts your wallet, that's for sure. I know the contract says full-time regulars. It doesn't say CCAs are not to work more than 4 days with 12-hour shifts, 60 hours a week. But that's not CCAs. That's full-time regulars. And this office is trying to treat the CCAs under that umbrella. And there's a form called the 3971 form, I believe. And you're supposed to assess your workload. And then if you think you can't do it in 8 hours, you're supposed to notify your supervisor. And, they want to try to say the CCA needs to do that. But I'm like, dude, I'm not a maintainer of a route. I'm not a route maintainer. That's the reason why, non-career people, CCAs, get paid considerably less than career people. I'm a city carrier assistant. City carrier assistant. So throughout the day, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, doing what I'm told. I'm assisting. So, this whole idea that I need to tell you if I can't handle my workload, well then, don't give me the workload. That form shouldn't be for me to handle, because I'm a city carrier assistant. I'm not a regular on a route. You know what I mean? It just makes you scratch your head. You're working, and I'm a fast carrier, and so therefore I work to the last minute possible. So I mean, it's all about work to the last minute possible. That's what you do. So yeah, they're just overly worried about their numbers. And that worry about numbers gets in the way of productivity often. Forcing CCAs to be under 8 hours in a day because our hours are getting too high. Well, the contract says that I think they can work us like 14 days in a row and be 12 hours a day. So I don't understand how, as a CCA, your hours are high. I mean, they're playing finagling numbers with the contract. I mean, those are full-time regulars. The contract says in, I think, 42% something, full-time regulars. It doesn't say CCAs. So, yeah, it is what it is. So you gotta try to make the smart money. Freaking squirrels. They're like little gymnasts. Always flying around the roads. But I hope that you guys have a good day. And thank you.